What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Making Podcasts Great Again. I am your tech stuff guy, Jay Nog, and we are here, of course, with the President of the United States of Mar-a-Lago of America, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, how are you today? You were looking great with this lighting.
It's
Majestic.
called, well, you know what? It's called heaven, tech stuff. And it's opened up and it's saying the left has basically become satanic and they're fighting, they're evil. Excuse me. They call it evil and not Knievel, just evil. And no Knievel. Maybe a few Knishes for some of the anti-Israel Kushners. But we are.
Evil, no Knievel.
I know that, you know what, because Evil Knievel was actually not a lot of people know. He wasn't really that evil.
No.
So you have to make sure they know there's no Knievel. And with all the evil and the radical left attacks that really seem almost pure satanic, heaven has recently opened up inside. You see it right there. You see it. It's like
I see it.
God saying, "Sir, I've got your back in case you need backup." And that's good. In cop movies, you want to have a good partner. Well, I would say having the Lord as Trump's backup is pretty strong.
The Lord is your Riggs.
Well, I don't know if he's. Oh, Riggs was the white, the Mel Gibson, sure, but that would make me the black. Murtaugh.
Murtaugh.
No, it's more like if we could do a trade with 48 Hours and Lethal Weapon, so I get Mel Gibson and Nick Nolte on the same crew, and then I'm Mel Gibson and God is like Nick Nolte,
All right.
walking in and saying, "What do you need? You need backup."
Could he be Tango and Cash? Could one of you be Van Damme?
Excuse. Kurt Russell, who recently passed away for the Celtics, was one of Tango and Cash, and the other one is the great Sylvester Stallone.
That's right, not Stallone. It was Stallone. Not I. Why did I think of Van Damme? What movie was Van Damme in where he was a cop?
Time Cop.
I hope I wasn't thinking about Time Cop because that's a piece of trash. But it might have been.
We've had some very bad pop culture tech stuff, people. You might be the worst we've had.
I am bad at that.
But I like God as Nick Nolte. God Nolte.
All right.
What do you need? You need backup.
I don't know if God would be that aggressive.
Well, if he was Nick Nolte, he'd be that. You ever see a Nick Nolte movie? Do you know who Nick Nolte is?
I know who Nick Nolte is, but I'm saying, do you think God would be more of a Nick Nolte or more of a Swayze or more of a Stallone or more of a Mel Gibson?
Well, I didn't know we were doing Choose Your Own Cop Adventure. I was trying to keep it.
Choose Your Own God related to the cop.
I thought it was, I love Blue Lives, but I was trying to stay within which movie they were in. You're just like, well, what if we take somebody from the Untouchables, sir, and mix them in with the Dirty Dozen, and then all of a sudden Hill Street Blues shows up, and guess what? It's Mel Gibson.
All right, God is Nick Nolte. That's fine. You look upset. Did I upset you?
I mean, I literally have God in the light in my office, and you can't even show the respect to get cop movies correct. Police Academy. You're like Police Academy. You're like, we're calling you Tech Stuff Goldwaith, and you're just going crazy over there.
Mr. President, how are you holding up?
Stronger than just about anybody. I mean, we're having beautiful rallies. We were in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, which is a great place. We had Amish for Trump, blacks for Trump. We had bikers for Trump. We had alleged rapists for Trump because, of course, they don't do rape. We had the whole collection. Incredibly, we had Dr. Oz.
Nice.
Who I keep telling him, I said, you got to show these people what you did on your HBO show. because Fetterman looks like he belonged in Oz. And I think, Dr. Oz, you should be, shanking these people. Let them, they obviously think you're just the guy from Oprah. But maybe if you showed them that you're not afraid of going into the shower and doing some very strong patriotic things, that it might be not so nice for Big John Fetterman.
Uh, I don't know if Dr. Az is that gangster, to be honest with you. He does come from the tree of Oprah.
He does. I actually think Dr. Phil is probably tougher because I think he's from Texas. So I think he's tougher.
Dr. Phil, I've heard, is actually a cool dude from people who've hung out with him.
Oh, he's a shit doctor.
I mean, shit, Dr. Heard is a cool dude, though. Mr. President, you recently, was it on True Social you posted this, I think?
Yes, it posted a very strong truth.
Yes, it has to be true if you posted this, that the FBI, when they raided Mar-a-Lago, they raided Barron's bedroom. Bartholomew's bedroom.
If it's one of those things where I sort of have to say, well, if it was on Truth Social, then it's by Truth Social law true. I don't know, where was this Beetlejuice's room? In what location?
In Mar-a-Lago, the FBI went in there and turned it upside down looking for stuff in his room. I mean, as a 17-year-old boy, the FBI coming in,
no, I know.
being innocent.
Okay.
I mean, yes.
No, I know what they did. They went into Melatonin's pass out room. That's what we call it. And she has a walk-in closet with her drugs and her high heels and her crate for her son, Benjamin. And you should have seen how they took that crate out. They took that crate out and they took pictures of it and they threw it on the lawn and said, what is this cage? What animal do they keep in this cage? I'm getting upset. They said, what animal do you keep in this cage? And I
What
said,
did they think?
I thought it was a polar bear, a cage for a polar. It's a big cage. It's a Nicholas cage. And they said, what the hell animal is in this? And I said, I looked at them and I said, how dare you talk that way about Myanmar's son, Marshmallow? He is a person mostly. He's a person type human. And you will talk about him such. He's being crate trained, which is the proper way in Transylvania of parenting. And I respect mashed potatoes parenting choice. It's called choice. Okay, we don't do cancel culture and we don't do telling parents how to raise their kid. We believe parents have the answers. And the way they took his cage and then they threw it out his poop and piss bags burst all over the lawn at Mar-a-Lago. And I said, who's going to pay for that cleanup? And how upsetting it would be to Maleficent's son, Beelzebub. How unbelievably disturbing it would be to see. And this is the FBI tech stuff. This is the FBI doing this to this young, tall, human-like person. And so I think it's so sad. And you wouldn't want anybody's kid. I wouldn't even want them to do this to Hunter Biden. How nasty they were to Biloxi, and they were so nasty. And it's the it was the instead of it was the fucking with Barton instigators. That's what the FBI stands for here, and we call it a disgrace. And I've never seen a disgrace like this until now. And when Michelle woke up from her propofol nap, you've never seen a woman so upset. She said, what have they done to bumblebees? Great. What have they done to it? And why is his poop and piss bag How is he supposed to relieve himself now? How is he supposed to go? How is he supposed, as she says to him, how is he supposed to go? Lemonade leak and chocolate shit. How is he supposed to do that without his special bags, his very special bags? They took away his special bags, and there will be consequences for the FBI for how poorly they treated Bartles and James.
Listen, Instagram, I mean, audiogram can't be 4 minutes.
And on Truth Social, they can be 45 minutes because we don't do cancel culture and we don't censor.
I'm really sorry about that, Mr. President. I'm really sorry. It's
About what?
about your son with his
Oh,
great. You use so many names. Bartholomew, Yezebub, um,
Don
Barton.
Jr.
It's Don Jr. now.
Oh no, you said my son.
Well, you have another one with Melania. It's okay. I know it's been a long week, Mr. President. I want to ask you about you requested a special master, which sounds almost fake, like out of a video game, to look at the documents that were stolen by the FBI at Mar-a-Lago. And people are shocked that you were granted this special master from Judge Aileen Cannon. What are your thoughts on this?
When I appointed Judge Cannon, and it was very simple. Did you ever see the movie Just One of the Guys?
Just one of the guys. I don't think so.
It was on HBO 5,000 times in the 1980s, and it's about a woman who goes undercover
Yes, I saw the movie.
and yet every young person would watch that movie for 95 minutes because at the very end of the movie, she would rip open a tuxedo.
Oh, that's right,
And
and show her boobs.
some of the greatest, biggest 1980s breasts I think that existed. And so you watch this weird, stupid comedy, just waiting for that moment. It's called Family Values. And when Cannon was looking to be a judge, I said, "Well, I have one criteria. Does the does the do the knockers match the name?" And she ripped open her blouse, and I said, "Guess who's getting nominated for a very strong Florida federal judgeship?" And she said, "Who?" Because she's very stupid. And she said, "Who?" And I said, "You big titted moron." And she laughed. And now she's on the court doing strong court things. She's doing very strong court. And we appreciate it because she's a hell of a judge, great judge. And it's only law professors and legal experts and law journalists and judges who think she did a bad job.
So, do you think she is going to eventually dismiss this whole
No,
thing?
no. She's already told me in a totally
What?
non-biased way. She said, "Sir," she called me on a burner phone, and she
Mhm.
said, "Sir, I'm going to appoint a special master, and you should have seen Mike Pence, who we keep him in his own crate at Mar-a-Lago. He came running in his gimp mask, and he said, "Special master, I'll be your slave, special master." I said, "No, Mike, we're not talking about that." So we will have a special master because the FBI, can't be trusted. It's called trust, tech stuff, and they
Who
don't have it.
chooses the master?
We have to submit people, a lot of strong people, and then Judge Big Cannons will pick. Will pick.
Well, I wish you luck. This sounds like justice will be served and the truth will come out, considering
It's
the turn of
actually not
events here.
the truth. The Truth Social will come out.
Social will come out. Well, I sure hope so. Now, Mr. President, this is the first episode of the month, and there are tons of questioners from listeners from all social media platforms except Truth
Do you
Social,
want
because
to,
I have not been
excuse me,
allowed in yet. Yes.
excuse me. What you should do is talk to Boner Thug and Harmony and see if they'll do a strong Truth Social sponsorship with first of the month, so we can sort of play that song every first of the month. It's the first of the month. Questions, questions, questions.
Well,
Pause.
now, Mr. President, it's time to head to the questions, and we have a ton, and we're going to start with
How many?
Facebook.
Well, could we start from Truth Social, please?
I don't have any because I have not been approved yet.
Okay. We're gonna have to see about that. I can't. The fact that you're not. How disrespectful is it to not ask the number one site? It's the
Because
number
you
one.
won't, because you won't give me access to it. I can't get into it.
All you need to do is give your social security and turn your life over to Christ. Those are the terms of service. I don't know. You know, it's very easy tech stuff. We've improved all the bugs. There were barely any bugs. And that's all you have to do. You sign, I'm a strong Christian, and I'm also giving you my social security. We call it a truth social security number. Title.
Now,
Tech
we're going
stuff.
to go to, yeah.
You seem very giddy this week. Are you in a good mood?
No, I've actually had a horrible week. This is the time I get to laugh, actually.
Well,
I've had a very long week.
Well, this is what's so nice. You know, Sleepy Joe's America is destroying our tech stuff community. And then all of a sudden, you get just an hour of what it's like to have a real president. And all of a sudden, laughing like a lunatic.
Yeah, Mr. President, my kid's been sick this week. It's been
Okay, let's just
rough.
get to the questions. We don't need to get into all this.
So this comes from, of
Ivanka's
course, our Patreon. Yes.
She had vaginal rejuvenation surgery this week. I was very uncomfortable. Do you see me bringing the show down? It's a tragedy. It's worse
I'm
than
not.
that.
I'm
Getting her pussy lips fixed. No, we do a strong show.
My apologies. It's going to come from our Patreon president, Alex's iPhone, formerly known as Alex's iPhone Trump, no longer. Dr. Mr. President, Reverend Shaman Esquire, sir, any education tips for patriotic parents as kids return to school following the end of summer break? Great question.
You know, education is so important to me and to all our great patriots because they're trying to. We were driving by a school and I saw something that I saw a first grader and he had a Black Panther lunchbox. And I thought this is what they're allowing first graders to do. Radical left terrorist organizations like the Black Panthers, now they have them on lunchboxes. Lunchboxes. What the hell is that? You know, excuse me, do they sell Proud Boy lunchboxes? 3% for lunchboxes? No. Oath Keepers lunchbox? No. But you can have a first grader walking in with a Black Panther lunchbox. So what I would say is if you see that, report it. We are setting up in various school districts. We have people setting up, they're called Truth Social Critical Race Watchdogs, where you report things like Black Panther lunchboxes and teachers talking about race and talking about, you know, if you see a school that sort of has too much chocolate milk instead of strong American plain white milk, we want to hear about it. We want to hear because that's how they get kids. They start to eat it. People don't realize chocolate milk is actually a plot by the woke left. Because I admit it tastes good. But so do the people do drugs, not because they make them feel bad. And instead of what happens with our kids, they walk in with their Black Panther lunch boxes and they say, "Give me that great chocolate milk." And then the white milk, sits on the counter, and our kids are great white patriots. Little kids, they look and they come to me and they say, "Sir, can I ask you a question, sir?" And I say, "Sure, little person, what's your question?" Why does everybody hate the white milk? And I say, "This is what they're doing. This is how they get our kids. So if you see too much chocolate milk, if you see certain lunch boxes or the word slavery being taught, get them out of that school and begin homeschooling immediately."
Okay. And Mr. President, this question, I think that show on HBO with the dragons, Game of Thrones, they have the spin-off. I don't know what it's called.
Well,
Do you
of course you don't know. It's only the biggest show on TV right now. House of the Dragon tech stuff.
Okay, this question, I don't watch it. I tried to watch the first episode of Game of Thrones 3 times and didn't pull me in. Sir, Mr. President, sir, if you were the king in House of the Dragon, who would you marry and who would
Who
you
asked
have?
this question?
Oh, this comes from Michael Craig, of course.
Yeah,
Who would you marry and who would you have your daughter marry to ensure a pure bloodline and stability for the realm?
that's a good question. One of the great things about Game of Thrones, the universe of Game of Thrones, not judgmental when it comes to strong family romance. Uh, and it was nice. It was nice to see that people could appreciate love in all its forms. Now, who would I marry and who would I marry my daughter off to?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would marry Tracy Trump, who, just because Mother Maple's syrup gets very annoyed with me when I don't acknowledge her. I don't think she's mine, but you don't want to get into too many lawsuits. I would marry Tracy Trump off to the Dothraki from Game of Thrones. They're not in House of Dragon yet, but these were the sort of, they ride horses, they do strong sexual assault. There was no Me Too back in the Game of Thrones. I would get her there and get her the hell out of my kingdom. I would probably marry. I would probably murder Ron DeSantis and marry his wife to create a stronger Republican hold. You know, it
Mm-hmm.
would show. Imagine how strong that would look to DeSantis supporters who are like not sure that they're weak, but we still want them aboard. If they were like, I like DeSantis, and then they see me throw DeSantis off a bridge in Florida and then take his fairly hot wife and just say, okay, now it's you and me. We've unified the Republican kingdom. As far as my daughter, I assume he means Ivanka. Well, you need to keep the bloodlines pure. And I think the only option would be to take her on for the good of the kingdom, to take her on as an additional wife.
Hmm.
Because there's nothing, because people say you can have cognitive issues if like you're too closely related, if cousins or whoever marry. Well, look at Don Jr. Like you can't come worse. His mother and I weren't cousins. In fact, I explained last week that he might be not even mine. He might be the product of a lazy raccoon that fucked Ivana. But look how badly he came out. And that wasn't so. You can't do worse if a father and daughter were to sort of marry for political reasons, for strong bloodlines and kingdom. So I think I would end up, having multiple marriages. And then Mitt Romney would get so jealous that I had more marriages than him that he would probably, jump off a ski slope in Utah. And that would be another enemy of mine destroyed in the House of the Trump.
Now we have one more question from Facebook, and this is from Brandon First. Pope Trump, the first of his name, ruler of the Mountain Dew Army and the MAGA Kingdom. What are your thoughts on the newly obtained video evidence of your operatives conducting strong election integrity in Georgia? Trump bless you.
It's a beautiful thing. We The left wants to steal our elections, and they claim they want more people voting. No, they want to dump ballots. They want a ballot harvest. And I like our patriot farmers, but the only farmers I don't like are the ones who harvest ballots. So we have to stop them. And no, my people were great. It's total. The video evidence is so deceptive. It's so deceptive what they can do. It's called. Sometimes they do deep fakes. You know what that is?
Deep fakes? Was it with fake pictures and fake news?
You don't know what deep fakes are? When we're done with this episode, before you do your Game of Thrones fantasy football, look up deepfakes. Look up deepfake Tom Cruise. And then you'll go, I get it, Mr. President, sir. Deepfakes are when they make these very authentic videos that look like they really happened, and it's just strong computers. And that's what they did. That's what they did. In fact, January 6th is an entire deepfake. It never even happened.
All right, I see. That's impressive whoever can do that. All right. See, this question, we're not going to talk about any great Fred Trump traditions, are we?
I know that's somebody who wants to get Patreon content for absolutely not.
Doesn't happen. Okay. Here we go. Let's go. You on Twitter or Instagram, Mr. President?
Truth Social?
We don't have True Social.
Oh, then we'll go Instagram.
Okay. Gotta reload it. Here we go. Dr. Reverend Mr. President, sir, what previous world leaders throughout history do you see as role models?
I would say Genghis Khan. First off, he had many, many kids. He took over many lands, and he also was very strong against the Star Trek people. So I would say Genghis Khan. I would say you're not allowed to say the one I want to say, but he was tough. He was strong, great speaker, very silly mustache. That's all I'll say. There were qualities there. I don't like what he did on certain things, but in other ways he was strong. And then after Genghis Khan and Alfred Hitler, so you don't know who I'm talking about, we'll use a pseudonym. I would say Jesus Christ.
Okay. One more question from Instagram here. Oh, that question came from, I'm sorry, Evan.Edwards. Edwards.
Emily, my favorite.
Here we go. This is from Papa Carlos 84. Sir, Doctor, Mr. President, Reverend, we need a powerful and strong leader in the world. How would you handle the crisis in Pakistan with the flooding? Something has to be done about those damn windmills. How would you deal with the flooding?
Obviously, prayer. You have to do strong prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Because climate change is a hoax. So you have to do prayer to get rid of floods. I would build an ark, and we would call it the Pakistani Ark. And you would take two of every person. You would take two hot chicks, two ugly chicks, two terrorists, and two by two, you load up the Pakistani ark. You get two nukes because they're a nuclear power, so you get to take two nukes on the ark for
Mhm.
self-defense. And then I would say just float off and find a new place to live because Pakistan is going bye-bye.
So you just leave. So you would do.
Just leave. Pack it. It's called pack it up.
Pack it up, Stan. Now, Mr. President, before we get to our Twitter questions, everyone should be joining the Patreon. The content, hours and hours of content, bonus content, great Fred Trump traditions, holidays, special guests, movie reviews, live episodes.
Basically, if you are not, and we say this all the time, and people go, "Well, you are sort of missing like 20% to 25% of the making podcasts great again experience." And it's edgier. It's truly no cancel culture, no political correctness, and it's absolutely the best. And everybody says it.
Join it. Patreon.com/MPGA. Mr. President, we going with the last Thursday of the month for the Perfect 10 bonus episode?
Is that September 29th?
That is September 29th.
Well, it's the week of uh, Rush Limbaugh Hana, which is the week where we honor Rush Limbaugh. So we will declare September 29th Rush Limbaugh Hana, where it's a time where we honor a great patriot, a great conservative, and a great friend.
And that will be 8 p.m. Eastern time, September 29th, 8 p.m. Eastern for the bonus episode for our Perfect 10 Patreon patrons.
What I need to
go
say
live.
here is,
Yes.
if we can say real quick, if you're a Patreon person or you're going to join because you want to get on in this, comment, maybe or send messages if you're in a time zone where you're like, I can never do this, let us know. And then maybe we can have a special one once in a while where it's like, oh, this one's in the afternoon East Coast time because that's better for the people drowning in Afghanistan or wherever the hell you were talking
Pack
about.
it up, Stan.
Oh,
Pakistan.
what's that?
Okay. Mr. President,
That's a good name for luggage. If I did like Trump luggage, we gotta call it Pakistan.
Good try.
And you have a kid going, I stand packing for trips.
Well, you are a promoting wizard, so I would.
By the way, does anybody want to
would-
give us a gift membership to Discovery Plus? Because there's this documentary about Army Hammer, who seems like a really great guy, very handsome, very tall, very rich, and is being accused of rape and cannibalism. And I just feel like I saw what they did to the great Jeff Epstein, and if I can stop that from happening to another great young person, I want to take that up as sort of my cause, my activism.
Okay.
So somebody send us a free login for Discovery Plus. I'm not paying
You can message us on the Patreon.
Oh,
exactly. Now, Mr. President, we talked earlier in the episode about the special master to look over the documents that were seized from Mar-a-Lago. And this question comes from at Baymonse. And it says, who will you select if you had to pick someone to select to be the special master, or maybe a top 3? Who would be your choices?
is it is a special needs master or just a special master?
As a special master.
Oh, sorry, Corky from Life Goes On. You're not a special master this time. What I would say is, that's a good question. I'd say I haven't thought of it too much, but I think you want a strong legal mind and somebody very fair. So I would first say Sidney Powell. My great attorney, Sidney Powell, would be my first choice for a special master. I think my second choice would be, I was watching a strong adult film the other day where the woman was dressed as a lawyer. And she seemed very convincing. Everybody sided with her by the end of the video. So we could look into whether she wants to be the special master. But okay, but I think we would have to go with, I don't know if she's radical left, but Legally Blonde. I think Legally Blonde would be somebody I would bring in.
Okay.
Legally Blonde 3, special master for DJT bars. And
Someone,
then,
please. I want to see that movie poster.
that'd be a good poster. And then I think a great third, I think that the best choice for special master would probably be,
Rudy?
no, Rudy's too much diarrhea in the forehead to be a special master. I think, oh, well, Tracy Trump went to law school. So why not throw her a bone? I mean,
Okay.
she is a dog, so we can literally throw her a bone, but we'll also throw her a metaphorical bone and make her the special master. So those are my choices: the porn person, Tracy Trump, Sidney Powell, and, well, the
Legally
porn
Blonde.
person is honorable mention, Legally Blonde.
2 more questions, Mr. President, and this is
A lot of questions.
I know, I told you. Here we go. Last 2 questions. Add Ann Pagnata on Twitter. Mr. President, Doctor Shaman Esquire, Your Holiness, sir. Is it
See,
true,
I like
Kim?
that because you can always tell who some people, they're not show people. They just say, "Oh, I'll ask a question," but you can tell when the people show proper
Oh
respect
yeah.
who the hell they're talking to.
Is it true Kim Jong Un made an audio recording of his great, strong, powerful letter to you? If so, what might that sound like? Thank you, sir.
Tech stuff, that's like what I call a thirsty comment.
I know. I wanted to
Yeah,
see how you would deal with that question. That's why I threw it out there.
because they know that I take great respect. I have great respect for the sacred communications we have, and that sounds like they just want me to, do a reenactment. I will read what he said in the PS only.
Okay.
Let me get it out of my FBI folder. They didn't get this one. Okay, here's what it says. Now, I'm approximating the audio recording because he did do an audio recording, and I'm just going to do a pitch perfect impression. Peace! Prostitutes say you best. So I'm not going to go into all the details of our beautiful letter and our great friendship, but that is what he said, and that's how it sounded on his audio postscript, as they call it.
Well, I saved this question for last, and of course,
You
it
know, I
comes from
never write
yes.
PS on a letter. Do you realize that? Because I never make a mistake. PS. Oh, PS. I forgot PPS. So no. Once I write from, comma, Donald J. Trump, that's the end of the letter. There's never any missing pieces, like a dumb piece of shit. That's what PS should stand for, piece of shit. Because I don't know how to write a letter.
Well, here's our last question, Mr. President, and it comes from at DJ McConnell. Mr. President, sir, was the great Fred Trump ever rated?
You're a real big fan of this DJ McConnell. He always been. It's almost like he's a perfect 10, and I'm going to call him out right now. He's a perfect 10. Doesn't show up to the meetings.
And he's
Strong
got good
support.
questions. Good
He
questions.
does strong support, and he comments, and he praises the show often. But it's almost like he wants to be one of those rhinos who doesn't want to show his face at a beautiful patriotic meeting. I wonder, but
Shame.
but you can ask his question. We respect it.
Mr. President, sir, was the great Fred Trump ever raided? If not, how do you think he would have handled it besides very strongly, of course? Did he maybe use Pablo as a human shield?
Who is Pablo?
I'm trying. I think it was one of the boys of the mothers from
Oh, one of the people he did great charity work for, of
yes.
course. I know that the great Fred Trump. We used to be a country, tech stuff, that respected great men. He showed the respect. So he was never raided. He was never raided.
Mm-mm.
In fact, he had friends on the police force who would let him know, they might be doing a walk by or check in, and they might be getting information. And Fred Trump would have great friends he made while attending Klan rallies stand outside his house to guard it. So you had people in the community, had strong patriots, strong friends who would look out for one another. You know, instead of getting raided, they would say, I think that's a black on your neighborhood. Let's get him. And you felt safe and you felt protected and you felt respected. And instead, now we have great people like me, really great people, no respect. They go in, they steal your stuff, they make nasty pictures of it, they tip over the crate of your third wife's tall human son person. And so, no, the great Fred Trump, he made so many friends with the police, with the local Klan people, uh, with the dry cleaner, all the people in the community. He was great friends with, so there were never any raids because at that time it was called respect, tech stuff. At the time, if
Mm-hmm.
you were a great man, you were shown respect, and we don't do that anymore. So when I say I want to make America great again, I want it to be a simpler time where great men don't get raided, and hopefully we can get back to that place,
I
and
hope
we can
so.
raid Sleepy Joe and peacefully protest Hunter Biden.
Well, I hope we can do that as well, Mr. President. And thank you. I know how hectic life can be right now for you, and we appreciate you spending another week with us, plus all the bonus episodes. Thank you so much, and justice will come through for you. We know it. So
I hope so.
again, join the Patreon, patreon.com/mpga, and also
Just to be
football
clear,
games.
wait,
Yes.
just to be clear, Justice is an African American stripper I sometimes see in Tampa.
Check out Something from Nothing if you haven't yet. That's on it's on Amazon. And that's it. Floor is yours, Mr. President.
We gotta fight. We gotta fight, or we have no country left. And the fight begins by joining the Patreon. That's the best way to join the fight. Hello, everybody. It's JL. Thanks as always for listening. Thanks for sharing. Be sure to give us, 5-star review on Apple if you haven't, and also be sure to follow us on as many places as you can, because sometimes, the engagement on Twitter and Facebook can be very weird and inconsistent, and that's nobody's fault. But it's more like, hey, if you're on those sites, maybe every Wednesday when the episode goes up, or Thursday in this week, you just give a like or you share some clip or something. It'll just help keep the different social media pages active instead of just sort of stagnant, because some weeks we'll have 400 people saw this, and then the next week it's 18 people saw this. So just a reminder, that's the free stuff, that you can help the show out with if you don't have the money for Patreon or anything like that. I got a couple of shows coming up later, but big thing, if you're still listening, the big thing is this week, my sketch video, Better Call Trump, is coming out. It is a sort of very strong parody the finale of Better Call Saul. But in this case, Trump is fleeing the law. So he works at a Chicago Cinnabon, because that's the last place people would expect him to be, is Chicago. And our friend Sharon Spell, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, makes a cameo in it. But it's, if you liked Better Call Saul, and more importantly, if you like my impressions and sketches, this one's going to be really good. So I'm hoping it'll be ready by Thursday, and then maybe around noon Eastern, if everybody's paying attention right now. I'm trying to see if people will, like, not even retweet me, but just share it independently. So I know that's a weird ask, and 90% of you are not even listening anymore, but hoping this video, it's going to be really, really good and really, really funny. So hoping it can blow up a little. Who knows? Probably not, but we can try. So that's all. That's my only request. So no, a lot of non-monetary requests from you folks this week. So if Patreon has been something you've not bitten the bullet on, or you just don't have the any spare money, lots of free ways you can help the show and help me this week. So hopefully you'll do that. And for everything else I do, other podcasts, Patreon, jlcomedy.com. That's it. Long ending to the show. You're not even listening. God help us all.